Welcome to this week's Lean Into Clean. I'm Jarvis Smith. This is UK Health Radio. I hope you are all having a really wonderful Monday, a great start to the week. I've got a fabulous guest on the show today. It's extraordinary, actually. The person that's joining us today is part of an organization, and I'm not going to do a spoiler alert, but was one of the first ways I got involved in spirituality and meditation. And the person that's joining us today is actually the founder of that organization. I'm super excited to tell you more about that in a second, so don't go away. As always, I'm going to start off with just a little bit of what I describe as news. It's normally features or information that has been written in My Green Pod. Obviously, that's our sustainable and spiritual and social impact media company. We publish a magazine every 2 months, and we have news that goes up on mygreenpod.com every single day. Now, this particular story is related to the latest issue of the magazine that we did on Earth Day. I've been talking about the Earth a lot of late because that's obviously linked to Earth Day. This particular article was written by a guest that we had on the show just a couple of weeks ago. It was Dr. Cilla Elworthy, and the title is The Energy of the Earth, and it's a little bit linked to today's guest. I mean, not quite directly, but a little bit. So the title is Change Begins with Realizing the Power That Surrounds Us. And the article goes on today, and I'm going to share a bit with you because I just thought it was so beautiful. It says, to make good sense of Earth Day, I'd like to approach it not by dark statistics of what we humans have done to the Earth, but instead listen to what the Earth has to offer us on a personal level and what we can learn from her. Now, isn't that just a great introduction? I would absolutely agree with that. It goes on to say, what does the Earth mean to each of us personally? To some, it may mean bright grass, or bright green grass, should I say, or to others it may mean growing vegetables, and to others it may suggest the ravishing beauty of trees. But perhaps it may also be a source of strength, a teacher, even a transformer. Now, I absolutely believe this to be the case. As you know, my background was training with a female shaman for 15 years, indigenous to the UK. And one of my biggest lessons in that whole time of practice, quite hard practice, I must add. There was 2 to 4 hours of yoga every day and lots of stillness. But the biggest lesson I learned was listening. And that was listening to the earth, and then hopefully being able to interpret what she or it is teaching us. So this article goes on. The next kind of headline is Touching Power. It says, something new and quite strange happened to me lately. And this is Dr. Cilla Elworthy talking. I have a small garden, and one day I just knelt down and touched the earth. I was drawn to it and suddenly noticed an energy, a sort of tingle coming into my fingers. I looked down to see if there was a small thistle or something that had touched me. Not so. I stood still and suddenly felt my whole self come alive as if it was energized. Now, when I even think about this feeling, as I do now in writing it down, I feel the same sense of, and it says ... potential. Perhaps that's the right word, as if the earth has power. And of course, it does, huge power. After all, it grows all our food, it makes compost all day, all night, etc. But this goes on to say, and I really love this bit, it says, my teacher, this is Dr. Cilla Elworthy's teacher, was Thich Nhat Hanh, who was a spiritual elder, and is not normally known as a gardener, but he has written an extraordinary chapter called Transforming Our Compost. And when we look deeply at a flower, it goes on, we can see that flower is on her way to becoming compost. If we don't notice this, we will be shocked when the flower begins to decompose. And when we look deeply at the compost, we see that it also is on its way to becoming flowers. We realize that flowers and compost they need each other. He goes on to say how we look deeply into ourselves, we see both flowers and garbage, and that each of us has anger, hatred, depression, racial discrimination, and many other kinds of garbage in us. But there is no need for us to be afraid. We can learn to transform all these emotions into love and understanding. This is the work of meditation, he writes. Now, I just think that article is such a beautiful segue to today's guest. You can find the rest of that article at mygreenpod.com. You just click on the articles post. It was also in the magazine, so you can click on the magazines. There is roughly about 7,500 articles, inspiration on sustainability, spirituality, consciousness, and anything, in fact, you want to find out about this thing we're calling a climate crisis. So that's my end of a news piece today. Do go and check out My Green Pod. But I now want to welcome, super excited about this. We have so much to talk about. Today's guest. So today's guest is Sister Dr. Jenna. Now, Sister Dr. Jenna is a spiritual mentor, an author, radio and TV personality, and speaker. She hosts The Next Normal on YouTube and is the founder of the Brahma Kumaris, which is what I was talking about earlier. She's Hold on, the Brahma Kumaris Meditation Museum in Maryland.
Oh
My apologies.
boy, did I wish.
Got it. Sorry, you're the founder of the Brahma Kumaris Meditation Museum in Maryland. My apologies. Sister Dr. Jenna has been featured on magazine covers, appeared on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and is honored with the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award for National Community Service. She presented the Illuminating the Light Within fashion show for the Paris 2024 Olympics. Sister Jenna is the author of Meditation, Intimate Experiences with the Divine Through Contemplative Practices, a profound compilation featuring insights from over 30 contributing authors. She also contributed to Mr. President, Interfaith Perspectives on the History Presidency of Barack H. Obama, previous American president, offering her unique spiritual insights on leadership and unity. And most recently, she released the Sister Gita Effect, Living in Love with the Divine, a heartfelt tribute to her mother. Sister Gita, a woman of remarkable resilience and faith who overcame immense adversity to inspire and uplift countless lives. Sister Jenna believes your good wishes and pure feelings can save the planet. Welcome, Sister Jenna.
Isn't that true, though? Thank you. I almost fell off my seat when you said I founded the Brahma Kumaris.
Yeah, it's impossible. Like, you couldn't have done.
Oh my goodness, what do I do with that responsibility?
My apologies. It was I'd misread it, and because I did wonder about that. I was thinking, how could you have done? Because there were predecessors before you.
That old for one. I definitely not.
But that's my sincere apologies and my fault. Well, you know, when you hear your bio. And you kind of listen to all your achievements. Do you ever think there's something missing from that? I wish I'd put something ... whatever that something might be, or is it complete? Does it sum you up?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's funny you mention that because on many occasions I'll just tell souls I'm peaceful. I don't know what more you want me to tell you.
I love that.
I bring people together. Those are things people don't know. I know how to look for the good in people and connect them to the right people that would make things work. Those are the things I miss in the bio. I'm blessed with bypassing a person's weakness and defect, looking at their strengths and seeing how we can work with that.
I love that.
A lot of things, a lot of things like that. But I'm so happy to see you again.
Likewise.
The time we were together, we were in Times Square in busy New York City, still trying to save the planet Earth from its massive transformation, which is inevitable. But at least we're able to continue to contribute to it as it goes through its cleansing and its recycling.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said that, the inevitability of it, and we'll definitely touch upon that, because I believe the same. It's really how perhaps we're going to transition or be a part of that change that is maybe the significant bit. But I'd love to, can we just talk about your book? Because it makes my hair stand on end just talking about it, because the dedication and the commitment that you've given to your mother, which you had such a beautiful, loving relationship, and she passed... was it last year? Quite recently.
Last year. It was really magical, and I think that's why we ended up calling it the Sister Gita Effect, because once you met her, you couldn't forget her. And she was also a teacher of the Brahma Kumaris, Jarvis. But it's just a fascinating journey. She lost her parents at 9 in a train crash, and was placed in orphanages, adopted, then sent back to orphanages, had me at 17, tried to
Gosh.
figure out what that was all about. While she's with my dad, they had put me in a daycare overnight because I used to cry a lot, it seems. And the daycare burnt down, and she had like psychic gifts. So even at night, she's seeing something is happening to me, and she's not quite sure. Next morning, they realized the daycare burnt down to ashes, but only I survived, the only baby that survived in the fire.
What? Wow, I
Yeah,
didn't know this. That's amazing. How
it
do you
is.
remember the experience?
That's such a great question. Um, in our teachings of Raj Yoga meditation, there's a term we use called tapasya, which is the fire of yoga. And I'm only imagining that as I reincarnated as this baby, I end up in this building that's burning down, but I survive it. I don't know if I remember it. I don't have issues of fire. I don't play with fires. I don't run from fires.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm sure
No.
there's scars there that I haven't touched yet, but we'll see.
But it sounds like your mum did have some intuitive nudge or insight to, to
Blessed
to
with it.
that.
And so am I. She's got an ability to see into things. She had it more because she never curtailed it or managed it. For me, I'm not interested in people's life or business anymore, up here, unless you ask. And
Hmm.
for her, she just had it. She knew people, she knew what's going on. But
Mm.
the book really is something I didn't plan. However, when she was alive, she always wanted to tell her story because she thought it was very profound. 2 years ago, when she had the softening of her brain and she was no longer the same person, I was talking to our publisher, Gina Maza, who helped to really birth this book. And we hadn't really started, but somehow in the last few months, we got together and it flowed, it came together. And as a result, here's the magic of Sister Gita Effect, Jarvis and everyone. The book gets released right before her 1 year anniversary of her transition.
Hmm.
It's which I find it amazing, and it gets released just a week before Mother's Day.
Wow.
Seems
American
like
Mother's Day or English? Because America's Mother's Day was
in
just
America,
the other
yeah,
day,
in
wasn't it?
America.
Yeah.
And I just think there's something just so alive about her spirit and the way that it works,
Yeah.
that she makes things happen very smoothly, even
Yeah.
though she's presently not here.
I mean, that's a quick time to turn a book around for sure. I mean, I hear about people being in, 3 or 4 years in investing in a book.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
how how did the what is the book? I mean, is it your version of the story of your mother's life, or is it a combination of how she experienced things with your,
Great.
what? Just give us an
Both,
insight.
both. It's definitely my version of what I witnessed with this woman and how courageous and triumphant she has been as a soul on her
Hmm.
journey. Her last few days when she was in the hospital, I was filming in Vancouver, and when I got to finally meet the doctors, when I flew back in, I, told the doctors, look, you got to take care of this person. She's a very special person.
Hmm.
And the doctor just says, oh, we know she is because of the people who've been coming to see her. And I say that because it's profound. She looks like a little scrawny little black lady. And yet the physicians in ICU are saying this must be somebody very significant.
Hmm.
Let's look at the people who are coming to see her. And I don't know why that stands out so strongly for me. And I even mention it in the book. And that's because so often we miss what is real because we're so caught up on the image, the
Mm.
bodily form of things. And that's one of the reasons why our planet Earth is going through so much suffering, is because we've become so superficial in our interpretation of ourselves and the
Mm.
world around us. So we don't really take care of the environment or the earth or ourselves as we can, which is
Mm.
a soul care agenda. We really are here to take care of the soul at a highest level if we're going
Mm.
to keep the planet running smoothly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I talk about it as a it sounds a bit harsh now. I say it to you because you're so kind of graceful and loving. But I call it the addiction to the outside world, that everybody's got this addiction, as you say, to convenience or, you know, or personality traits or whatever it might be. And actually, I've found that the deepest work is the inner work, is getting to know thyself through the inner work.
Yeah. And it's not easy because science is saying, look, it's easier if you just use the phone versus you walk to the place, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're learning how to balance the benefit of both dimensions. How do I really contribute with the sustaining factor of civilization, as well as be able to celebrate the fact that science has come up with new ideas and new ways to progress. And in one of our teachings in the Brahma Kumaris, there's an age after this Iron Age, after the Kali Yuga, after we destroy each other by destroying our minds with the worst ways of thinking, will be this golden age, this Yuga. So it's a refined form of science, but the consciousness of people are super refined too. So that's why both have a level of respect for each other. And now you don't see that. Either we're abusing the science and totally not thinking about the well-being of continuation, or we're so caught up in our physical forms that we really don't care about anyone else. So it's quite an interesting shift to see us moving towards that, even though it looks messy right now.
Yeah, I agree. And how did you, I mean, your mother has clearly been, you know, a wonderful influence in your life. Do you remember, do you remember a time when you know, there was this moment within your energy that you thought, I need to also go into the kind of essence of the Brahma Kumaris and become, I don't know, whatever it is that you are, a guiding force for peace and unity and light and love and spiritual connection and, you know, all of those wonderful feelings that I get from you. But was there a moment where your mum inspired you and you thought, that's what I'm going to be when I grow up?
The way you put it, because I had no intention to do this, not one bit, had no interest. They were losers. What's wrong with these people? The world is great. Life is great. They're escape artists. But there was one occasion, though, when my mom was walking from the kitchen to what's called Baba's room, which is her meditation room. And
Yeah.
every day she cooked food, complete vegetarian she had become, no garlic, no onions. And she would cook food. I'd watch her in very loving, peaceful energy. She wouldn't let you talk in the kitchen. And she took the food into Baba's room to offer it to God first. And when I watched her, she just floated like an angel. And I said, I'd like to become like that when I grow up. Not really thinking it landed at some point.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a seed. That was a seed. But honestly, Jarvis, everyone's going to get a call. The question is, are you going to respond?
Yeah. I think we can relate to that as well. So that's a beautiful moment. We're going to have to unfortunately go to a commercial break, but it's great for the show. So, you know, no, not disrespecting our advertisers. So we're going to go to a commercial break. We'll come back to you in a minute, Sister Jenna. Definitely want to talk more about that spiritual journey that you've been on and the Brahma Kumaris. So stay with us. We should be back after these.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
If optimizing your health and well-being is on your to-do list, then let Revive Active, Ireland's #1 super supplement brand, help you achieve that in the most convenient and comprehensive way possible. Clean, premium ingredients scientifically formulated to work in synergy to support immunity, energy, joints, heart health, sleep, emotional balance, and more. Benefit from the power, purity, and positivity of our award-winning powder sachets or our therapeutic capsule range. Use code RADIO15 at reviveactive.com and save 15% off today. Super supplements for a super you.
When you vacation with Norwegian Cruise Line, every day is a new day. Get a taste for Barcelona, then savor incredible dining options back on board one day. Connect to ancient history in Athens and then disconnect completely in our spa another day. Wherever the sea breeze takes you, come aboard and experience a different tomorrow with NCL. Visit ncl.com, call your travel agent, or call 0333 336 1472. Norwegian Cruise Line, Ships Registry, the Bahamas and USA.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
Welcome back. This is Lean Into Clean. I'm Jarvis Smith. I'm here with Sister Dr. Jenna. We're just talking about a recent book that it was written in a year. It's about her mother's life and her mother who passed a week or so ago. So, sending love to wherever your mother is now. Where do you think people go when they choose to leave this earth?
It depends on their karmas, the sum total of the experiences that they're carrying. It carries a vibration, a frequency, and they choose their next parents, they choose their next environment, their bodies, their looks, their money. And one of the things that I have learned, especially on this path, is consistency with your good wishes and pure feelings, your consistency with the charity of your heart, your consistency to keep your environment clean and healthy should continue the journey of the soul where it has always enough or an abundance of things. And I did used to question when I was younger why certain souls are born in situations that are very challenging. And I hated seeing that.
Mm.
And even till today, as much as I understand that things are karmic, I still feel so uncomfortable when I look at the return of suffering of the soul. Example, if I do a lot of bad things to you and I keep getting away with it, at some point internally in my conscience, I know I should stop doing that. And I feel that when you're about to leave your body, there's a moment in time where such an overwhelming amount of love of the self and God emerges that you begin to see all the times when you were loveless. And somehow that becomes an energy that journeys with you in your next incarnation to play out. And so even though I might see sometimes souls are suffering, one of the things that give me some sense of understanding is my empathy and compassion is there. I wish they weren't going through this, but I know they're just settling. There's a debt they have to pay back, and it's not going to be forever. And that somehow gives me comfort. That makes sense. It just gives me comfort.
Yeah, I mean that's a deep, profound sense of knowing. Okay, I mean, firstly, beautiful. If anybody's listening that would like to get hold of a copy of the Sister Gita Effect, which is out now, it's Living in Love with the Divine, which is beautiful. How do people get that, Sister Jenna? Is it on the Brahma Kumaris website or Amazon?
Actually, yes, it is. It's on the meditationmuseum.org website, but they can get it at Amazon.
Great.
Easiest way too.
Great, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the book before we kind of move into your?
It's it'll give you an experience. There's something mystical about it. I think as you read through the chapters, a lot of you will become clearer in terms of how you've lived your life and what you feel is next for you to do. So it has a living energy about it, and that's what makes it, again, the Sister Gita effect. But just a wonderful spirit. The other day I was getting ready and I just realized, I said, oh wow, Sister Gita, I can't believe this. You're immortal now. Everyone will realize that life of yours mattered, that it existed. Your little orphan Black girl from Jamaica who used to hang out with Bob and the guys, who turned out to be a saint. People will know that you actually existed. Wow. That touched my heart.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you. So if you want to get that book, it's the Sister Gita Effect. Don't forget where to get it. So go out and buy it and support it if you feel like you could do with some inspiration in your life. Thank you very much for that, Sister Jenna. So tell me a little bit about Brahma Kumaris. But before we do that, let's play your first song. I always ask my guests to bring a couple of songs that are soundtracks to their lives. I love the first one that you've given us, because if you don't mind me saying, it's by you, which is brilliant. It's called Shanti. For those of you that don't know what Shanti means, it means, Sister Jenna, what does Shanti mean?
I am a peaceful soul.
I am a peaceful soul. This is Shanti by Sister Jenna.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti is the universal language of peace. It is what? It is who every soul is. From the place of peace, I can live out my fullest expression of life. And with deep peace, there is nothing to obstruct my thoughts. I am able to yield to what is and remain conscious to what can be. In peace, I understand you. In peace, you understand me. It is at the center of it all.
Wow. I forgot I was doing a radio show then. I was taken up on a journey. What a beautiful, beautiful expression. What would you say that is? A prayer or an invitation or?
It's like, Ricky Cage, who is a Grammy Award winner. I think you might
I know Ricky very well, yes.
doing such good work. And I had invited him to our headquarters in Mount Abu. And he performed for thousands of people up there.
Oh, wow.
There were like 60 or 70 countries present. On my way back from the mountaintop, heading back to the US, he gave me a call and asked if I could do an album.
Mm-hmm.
And the music accompanied the words, and we just thought of doing like a meditation fusion. So the album is called the OMMM Shanti album, and it's available on Spotify, I believe, or wherever for free. And so he and I did the work, and it was really to bring people into action, but that you can still be peaceful while you're in action.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do a live show for 12, 13 years. We did over 1,700 shows, and it was live. Can I tell you how stressful it is to keep the timing and the clock and the people and things just occur? And my mom, Sister Geeta, she used to do a segment in it. And let me tell you, that woman was never on time. She would say something on air that would make my nostrils flare up. And yet, the show was magical.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I ask myself, and I want to throw it out to your audience, to what extent am I able to bring peace into my everyday action? Because even if I walk with a heavy beat on the earth, I'm hurting her.
Mm.
And so to what extent is my inner being, at peace with myself? And I'm not saying we're all supposed to be peaceful and that's it. I'm not always peaceful, but at least we should attempt to contribute more of that vibration. There was something that you read from the magazine that you had published for Earth Day last month, and when when he was talking about the waste, all the compost, some sense these vices that I call algae, A for anger, L for lust, G for greed, A for attachment, E for ego. That's the fertilizer, that's dirt, that's the garbage, that's the waste. But somehow when I get into that mode, Jarvis and everyone, it kind of sometimes pushes me to want to be a better person. And when I sometimes reach a point where I feel like I'm becoming good or better, I feel like I start to slip. It's a very interesting dimension. Like sometimes the negativity is kind of pushing you, be better, be stronger. When you get to the point that you feel good, you don't grow too much always on the good. Somewhere you start to slip back to something. So I almost feel the times that we're in, it's got so much fertilizer going on that I think we're being pushed fast and rapidly into a best version of ourselves. Does that make sense?
It does. It completely. Yeah. I can absolutely relate to it. And I have a morning practice, and every day I do say that, anything that's stopping me from being the best version of myself, not just as a human, but as a spiritual being, then I release or integrate with ease, grace, and flow. Literally part of my daily practice. But why? I mean, just on that, I mean, I would, kind of revere you as being, wise, peaceful, beautiful. Whenever I've met you, you have this real presence. You really meet people in that relationship way, and I mean that kind of I can't really put it into words, but there is an instant love, or there's an instant kind of something that oozes from you that certainly makes me feel good, and many people I know around you. Now that has come from years of practice, right? That has come from being part of. I don't know. What has it come from? I don't want to put words into your mouth. So where does that come from? Were you born with that, or is it something that's grown?
Teachings. It's in our teachings. In the first teachings of the Brahma Kumaris, the first lesson, I don't know if you recalled when you did it many, many years ago, but the first one is, do you know who you are? You are the soul. And so one of the things we don't do when we meet each other, don't meet each other soul to soul. We see the face, the color, the hair, the dress, the height, the size, the width. Then we hear the title, the role, the money, the connections. And then maybe we get to the character, the soul. Then we get there. That's a long route in a relationship with someone that could last for a long time or many lifetimes. So in the teachings of Raj Yoga, of the Brahma Kumaris, the first thing is when you meet a soul, when you meet anyone, you're meeting the soul first. And so When I look into someone, I'm looking for the God in them, which is never very hard because everyone has that.
Yeah, nice.
So you see that spark, that spirit of their souls, purity and peace. And that's what we do when we meet each person. In the Brahma Kumaris, we call it drishti. In the Western terminology, or in different terms, they've started something called gazing. But really, it's just drishti, my brotherly vision on you. Even right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm just feeling like I'm seeing you through the lens, right? Just
Yeah.
the beautiful spirit that's playing the role of Jarvis right now and is talking to all of us because he's contributing a better way in life. That's the way we need to see each other more in order to maintain good relationships.
It's beautiful. I mean, it feels, and when you say it, it just feels so natural, so simple, but actually very complex in the grand scheme of the way we're programmed and educated. So, how would people listening be able to find that within themselves? What do we need to let go of, or what do we need to learn in order for us to be more like that?
One of the things I've been observing is there's so many options out there. And because we've stopped being intentional, we don't always land on what is really best for the spirit. And on many occasions, we swipe through, let's say, podcasts or programs like ours that is really helping to educate and empower you. We swipe through that first to get to what this leader said, or what this one is twerking or dancing, or a joke or a dog or a cat, because we're not able to see ourselves anymore. And so the point that I wanted to make is we've become too complex as people, and we don't listen to what our thoughts are trying to show us so that we can change things we don't want inside of ourselves. We're very, very distracted from our real selves. And that's why we turn to things that will distract us even more. I mean, I do my show every morning, The Next Normal, and I'm not saying I have a million people on, but I've seen programs where it's about, hate and talking bad about people and the politics and the greed and the money. And there are like thousands of people watching it, and it's just polluting their minds. And I go, so interesting what people choose. And I think because we're so caught up in the fertilizer, we don't think we're actually beyond that. We don't think that we are the bud. We're caught up in where the dirt is. We don't focus on how the bud has to grow. We don't use our capacity or our strengths as best as we could. And I feel the world has become so complicated because we're so caught up in the algae, the fertilizer, and we're just stuck only there. And I feel that if we practice soul consciousness and listen is what I wanted, is the answer. If we could just listen to ourselves more, we would get out of a lot of things that we're stuck in.
Beautiful. It's so interesting. I got a really strong vision of what you were saying, and then you use the word stuck at the end. It's like the fertilizer, or the other word for fertilizer, which we all know, which I won't say on radio. It's sticky and it's gloopy, and it's quite hard to shake off. Whereas the light and the love and the happiness feels quite clean and transparent. So it's like we've got an addiction to the stickiness. But you did say stuck at the end, so it kind of confirmed what I was seeing and feeling. We're going to have to cut to another commercial break. Don't go away, everybody, because when we come back, I'm going to ask Sister Jenna about the way that she goes out into the world. We had an event that we did on Earth Day in Times Square together. We both represented as ambassadors, but there's going to be loads of other great stuff that Sister Jenna does. So we should be back after this commercial break. See you in a minute.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
Is this this the year you're going to sort out your health goals? Never heard of frequency medicine, but willing to give it a try? Curious to discover there is a way to click your way to optimal health? At BioHealthScan, we found a way for you to recover your lost good health faster than conventional methods, in a safe and pain-free way. Join in with the rest of us and try our 21-day challenge for optimal health. Do it yourself, save ourselves today. Find your way to biohealth-scan.com/21-day challenge. Or, for a whopping 20% discount, click on the BioHealthScan 21-Day Challenge DIY SOS banner on the UK Health Radio homepage now. BioHealthScan, paving the way to manage your health a better way.
Apples and pears, beef and skittles, cider with Rosie, common or garden, ant and deck, fish and chips, mum and dad.
UK Health Radio and Health Triangle magazine. Each is good by itself, but enjoying both is always better.
Kiss me quick.
Add Health Triangle magazine to your monthly health regime. Check it out at ukhealthradio.com.
Strawberries and cream.
A cancer diagnosis can be scary and stressful for everyone involved. Hello Love is a contemporary living space and well-being center in central London where anyone can come and learn about illness prevention and non-toxic practice. Inside, you will find a vegan restaurant, juice bar, and holistic dojo that encourage lifestyle changes to help heal mind, body, and spirit connection. Cancer patients are offered free sessions. To find out more, please visit us at hellolove.org.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
Welcome back. This is Lean Into Clean. I'm Jarvis Smith. This is your Monday show to get to know yourself. I'm here with Sister Dr. Jenna. There's lots to catch up on. If you have just tuned in, you can get the show on demand later on today. But Sister Jenna, so we have shared the stage a couple of times now in Times Square as ambassadors. Shout out to Michelle, who brought us together. And Maria, of course, and anybody else that's ambassadors, we love you all. You do a lot. You give a lot of your presence, your energy, your beingness, your humanness to either events or running videos or podcasts, or I'm on a WhatsApp group with you, and you are constantly, putting information out there. Why do you do that? Just give us a bit of an insight to why you choose to interact with the world in the way that you do, and also tell us a little bit about and being an ambassador for you, and what that's all about.
I'm addicted to.
Love it. That's honest.
Creating your karmas for my future. I just don't have any guarantees about the future journey of the soul. And so I've worked out the formula that the more good I do, the more insured my soul will be in the future.
Future-proofing soul journey. Wow, I love it.
So why not? And I was in California a few years ago for a program with Michelle Pascal for the Pramananda Yogananda celebration or anniversary. And I met Michelle Narciso and Maria there. And I don't know what it was. When I first met, especially Michelle, there was definitely a connection, but there was a depth about her. There was something about her that seemed she was about to explode spiritually. And with the space that I thought she was moving into her spirituality, along with her husband, Joel, I said to myself, I don't think this is really her fit, because again, I have the ability to see into people. Yeah. But from that encounter, I believe Michelle had asked me to do something for International Day for Peace. We did that. I invited her to a retreat at our retreat center in upstate New York, Peace Village Learning and Retreat Center.
Mm-hmm.
Then we started to do things, and she requested if I could become an OM ambassador. And I knew that they're starting something new, but there's something about her and then about the vision and how I could see she's about to explode in her spirituality. And what OM represented, I went, that's all what I do. I want to raise the vibrations of people because I'm raising my vibrations, really. So that's how I got involved. So with her OM presents and what it's doing, we all have to get involved with doing something that's connected to pure karma, good karma. And that's why I joined them, but also that's why I do what I do. I'm either going to be on the side of history where I'm giving sorrow to people and I'm taking sorrow, or I want to be on the side where I'm giving respect and love and wisdom, because that's for me. I'm doing that to myself. I need to do that for me. So I have that addiction, unfortunately.
No, I love it, because actually, what a cool thing to be addicted to. I can think of some not so cool things to be addicted to. So I like the sound of that. I actually can resonate with that. I think in some ways I am addicted. I call it a practice, but actually it is an addiction to keeping myself, light, unstressed, through the practices that I do. So thank you for that. I really appreciate your honesty. And yeah, I agree with you about Michelle and Om. If you want to find out more about Om, you can go to ompresents.com. So don't hesitate to do that. You can actually join the movement, because I call it a mass mobilizing movement. And there's some amazing ambassadors involved. Tell me, and actually just a very quick shout out to the events that we've been involved in. I mean, I don't know if you know this, Sister Jenna, but the last one we did for Earth Day, which you very kindly joined, and the previous one for Peace Day, we reached 1.5 million people live on Earth Day. How cool is that?
Wow, it's amazing. I didn't even know the numbers were that high. It was such a great day.
Yeah, it was magical, and that's the essence of Michelle and the invitation and the gracefulness that she has. So we love you, Michelle, if you're listening. Tell me about what's going on for. In fact, there's two things. I want to get your other song in, because I know it's a meditation or an invitation. So, but I also want to hear about what you've got planned for the foreseeable future, so people can connect with you and.
Oh, I wish I could even tell you. It's just way too much. My addiction. I should be on the streets with this kind of addiction. But right now, to be very honest, everyone who's listening,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you've landed here. Jarvis, I can speak on behalf of him, I believe. We've done countless conversations, programs, written so many things. Maybe have attended many conferences, programs. We want to make the world a better place, la, la, la. We have to get involved with raising our awareness of ourselves first. Example, you're living with a companion. They're not aligned to you, and all you're doing in the relationship now is thinking more about each other's weaknesses or defects. That's not raising your vibration. You're not helping the earth or the environment. So here's another way of looking at it. You are living with someone, you're not in alignment. Is there a way that you can somehow find it in your humility to see what's been good about them or what's good in them, and keep returning to that instead? So the kind of work that I'm really focused on, Jarvis and everyone, is me. That I don't want to get caught up in all the negative stuff. We were at an event yesterday. I did a book signing, and then after that we went for snacks. And across the table were two people talking about this current administration and what they're doing and what they're not doing. And I'm just like, we could talk about everything else. And we talk about something we have no power over and nothing to do for it. So what I'm trying to say to everyone, right now your project is also my project. Try to see if you can evolve in your day-to-day situations that you're going through. the way they leave the place a mess, the way they don't do this, they don't do that. I get it, and I don't care for it. But how do I evolve from that? And how can I make it better? A simple thing, 3 people are living in a house. One person feels they're the only ones doing all the cleaning. How does that one person evolve from finding a way to have the other 2 cooperate? Or if they feel they have to clean the house, can they do it in joy? We think changing the world is a big deal. It's not. It just starts with the evolving of your spirit and the way you see yourself and your environment and the people in your life. It's the way you treat the people around you. It's the way you treat yourself. That's my project, Jarvis. That I want to be able to truthfully live the wisdom that's been bestowed on me over these years. I want to truthfully be a walking example of spiritual beauty, light, love, peace, all the things that the earth continues to say. Could someone out of all 8 billion of you, could some of you just give me some peace? If you can just give me a little bit of yourselves peacefully, I will last longer for you in a way that I might be able to repair myself on one level, and there might be parts of me I just cannot repair. It's no longer repairable. So it has to come to a close. But can I just feel a few of God's creation walking on the planet Earth in peace and in beauty? And I think that's our assignment, Jarvis. I think that's what we all need to do. Get used to why we're here.
Beautifully said, beautifully said. And anybody that's listening, do allow that to touch your heart and awaken that consciousness within you. If you're on the path already, then deepen that practice. And thank you, Sister Jenna. I could talk to you all day. This show is an hour and it goes so quickly. I feel like we've not even got below the surface. Like, we're just on the surface of stuff. So I'd love to invite you back so we can go a little bit deeper. Now, we've got 6 minutes. We can do one of 2 things. We can play your second song, or you could offer us a live
Live.
prayer meditation.
Meditation.
What would you prefer?
Can we do a live little meditation?
Yes, please. Yes,
okay,
please.
That would be much better.
The floor is yours.
Oh, great. I've been doing this meditation now. It takes about an hour, but we only have a few minutes.
Yeah, I saw my producer's face go, what?
I want to set the tone. So the first 10 minutes, still thoughts are everywhere. The next 20 minutes, you might start to sink into a deeper level. And then in the next 30 minutes later, you should be getting to a wall in you. Behind the wall is divinity. And in that divinity are the answers to your life's path, your life's questions. So I'll just take you through it in just a minute or 2. But when you have an hour, try to go into it, because your answers are within you. They're not outside of you. And if you can get below the chatter, you'll be able to find the real you. So let's take a deep breath in, breathe in, hold it for a moment, and then breathe out. Breathe in again. Breathe out. Focus your attention behind your eye. Observe your thoughts. Some are quiet. Some are all over the place. Some don't know where to go. There might be some thoughts that make no sense. That's fine. Give it some time. They eventually settle down. There might be thoughts that you don't want to see. Talk to it. tell those thoughts, you're my past, you can't hurt me. So I have the courage to see you. There's no more power in you. And you'll observe how your soul begins to sink deeper into truth. You get to a layer. Maybe you stop. Maybe there's a void or a wall. Just step over it, break through it. Because behind that wall is you. Powerful, pure, peaceful, creative. The light of the divine is in this space. Bestowing the power on the soul. Keep moving forward. Get used to this. Keep listening from the depths of your being. Your answers are there. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Breathe in again. Breathe out. And that's a simple meditation. Actually, we do that in an hour. The first half hour is essential. I rushed it through, but the remaining half hours where you and God will work together to find your life's answers. It's very powerful.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, anybody that's listening, if you do have a moment now just to be, and maybe you could stay in that place, that would be a magical thing. I think we owe it to ourselves on a daily basis to just get to that place so we can feel that connection. You, Sister Jenna, are an absolute master in that, and your predecessors who I worked with, the two Brahma Kumaris ladies that came from India to set up the Brahma Kumaris places in England. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for being a wisdom keeper and such a peaceful and graceful, enlightened, gorgeous, loving human being. We love you. Thank you very much. If anyone wants to find out about Sister Jenna, just go online, use your search engine, just Google Sister Jenna. There's lots of ways to connect with her and the Brahma Kumaris. Thank you.
Thank you.